Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Kaveri Seed Company's Q2 and H1FY25 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Please note that this conference is being recorded. Joining us today on this call is Mr. Mithun Chand, Executive Director. Before we begin, I would like to mention that some of the statements made in today's call may be forward-looking in nature and may involve risks and uncertainties. For a list of such considerations, please refer to the earnings presentation. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Mithun Chand. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome everyone to our Q2 first half 25 earnings conference call. We hope you have had a chance to review the presentation of our results, which is also available on our website. I would touch upon the operational and financial performance of the company and then open the floor for the question and answer session. First, our financial highlights. Revenue from operations are registered a growth of 3% to 889.84 crore as compared to 863 crore first half of last year. EBITDA was at 299.68 crore, remained flat as compared to 298.87 crore in first half 24. Net profit was at 279.41 crores as compared to 278.55 crores. It remained flat. Cash on books stands at 559 crore as against 732 crores in the previous half year. For Q2 financial year, revenues from operations was at 81.76 crores. EBITDA was at 6.89 crore. Net profit was at 3.49 crore. The major highlights: board has recommended a 250% dividend, that is rupees 5 per equity share on a face value of rupees 2 per equity share. Increase in volumes in hybrid rice and selection rice and maize had resulted in increase in revenues due to good realizations. Non-cotton segment had grown by 24% in the first half of the year on account of major contribution like selection, hybrid rice and maize have done well. Exports during the first half were impacted by unrest in Bangladesh. This has resulted in a muted growth rates at revenue level and further below EBITDA and PAT. Increase in volumes in both selection and hybrid rice and maize have resulted in good growth rates on account of good realizations. Company's exports to recover in the second half of the year during Rabi season as the situation in Bangladesh is stable now. Operational highlights. The contribution of new products to volumes of Bajra was up from 59 to 73%. Hybrid rice volumes increased by 18% and revenues increased by 28%. Selection rice volumes increased by 20% and revenues by 34%. Maize volumes increased by 9% and revenues by 24%. Vegetable seed volumes increased by 11%, whereas revenue decreased by 13%. Exports sales stand at 6.1 crore in first half of 25 as compared to 25.93 crores in the first half of 24. The decline is due to political unrest in Bangladesh. I will now open the floor for question and answer session.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have the first question on the line of Dhruv Saraf from Bowhead India. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. So if I were to just look at your maize revenue growth in H125, it is of 24%. And if I were to just knock off Q1 of this year, so what I see is in Q2, maize has degrown for the company YOY. to the tune of around 30-40%. So what could be the reason, sir, given that our competitors have shown good results in maize and Q2 specifically?
Our majority of the sales were done in the first quarter itself. Even though it's in the second quarter, it's nothing but a spillover of first quarter. So we had a good sale in the first quarter. I don't know about the other companies. They might have done their sale in the second quarter, but it's all of a half-to-half comparison is a good comparison.
Right. So there could be some front loading that happened, which is why Q2 was subdued, basically.
Not exactly front loading, but we take the actual liquidation of the stock, but the areas where we operate, the liquidation might have taken place in the first quarter itself.
All right. That helps. And so just to understand the difference between standalone and consolidated numbers for this quarter, so we see like this 40-50 crore, 50-60 crore difference. Could you just tell us what this difference is on account of?
Sorry?
The difference between standalone and consolidated numbers. What explains this difference? I mean, what leads to this difference between standalone and consolidated number of Q2?
You just wanted to have the consolidated for the Q2, only for the Q2?
Yeah. So I mean, so consolidated for Q2 is at 137 crores, whereas standalone is 85 crores. So this difference of 50 crores that we see, what accounts for this difference of 50 crores?
So basically, we have other 4 subsidiaries in the company. One is Microtech, Genome, Mix, and Aditya Agritech. These are the contribution from those companies.
Sure. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Gunat Singh from ECI. Please go ahead.
Sir, I want to understand with the new tax regime, I mean, would we still be able to do buybacks going forward, or buybacks are out of question?
It's again, there's a management decision what we need to take, but we have still more time for the buyback because we have completed the buyback in the last March. So we will decide in the later course of action.
Yeah, I mean, you will decide, but I'm saying that, I mean, is it still possible with the new tax regime, or is it practically impossible now with the new tax regime? I mean, I want to understand the purposes of management on this.
So that's all that we need to discuss and decide on. It's not an individual decision; it's a board decision. But we see how the shareholders get benefited out of it. We will most probably in the next quarter or so we'll have a clear clarity on it.
All right. So currently you haven't had a discussion regarding this thing yet.
Yes. So still we have some more time left for that.
All right, sir. Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We have the next question from the line of Nitin Awasthi from InCred Equities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Wanted some volume numbers. If you could shed light on your 4 core products, how much was the sale in volume terms for the first half of this year? That would be cotton, hybrid rice, selection rice, and maize.
You want the overall volumes?
Yes, sir. Total volumes just for these 4 products.
So usually we are not disclosing volumes as of now, but if you want, I can give the overall company volumes of all. For the first half of last year, we had done volumes of 3,97 lakh kg. For this year, we have done 4,39 lakh kgs.
Okay, and what has been the realization in the first half for per packet of cotton?
The realization is around close to 730 odd rupees, 30-40 rupees.
Okay, so 730 odd rupees. So next thing I wish to understand is how much is the maize market expanding by? What was our share, and where do we indicate to go with the growth in the market?
As of now, if you see, compared to last half to this half, compared to last year half to this year half, the maize was up by close to 8 to 9%.
Total?
total as an India level, 8 to 9 level. Just need to check. It's in a single digit number. It's between 5 and 8. 5-7% is the total growth rate. But going forward, we see a good encouragement coming in maize as the ethanol plants are also coming up. The maize prices are good. It's much remunerative for the farmer now. We think going forward, maize as a crop should do well.
So the market share bit?
Market share of Kaveri?
Yes.
At present, we have market share of around 8 to 9%. Year on year, we think that we can grow market share, especially in maize. We have very good pipeline hybrids in maize, and not only that, even it is much visible in the first half. You can see, even though the cotton is down by more than 30%, close to 30% in the first half, we were able to match our revenues as we have increased our sale in both rice and maize segment. Overall, you can say non-cotton segment. And going forward, which we see a very good growth rate coming in for these crops.
Understood, sir. But the main season for maize, where you have the higher sale, maize is normally a crop where in H2 sales are higher than H1. So this year again and going forward, you expect similar kind of growth or more growth in H2 for maize?
I don't think so. Usually, H1 contributes to the majority of the maize. Even for last year, the maize was around 120 crores out of overall 190 crores.
Okay.
So, anyway, H1 can dominate the majority of the burn. But in the second half sale, maize is the only crop which contributes more to the revenue.
Understood, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Harsh Vora from DR Choksey. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. So my question is regarding vegetable segment. If you can just throw some light on the drop in revenue we witnessed in H1, and how you envision the growth of this segment over the next 3 years, and do you see any export potential in this segment?
So you're talking about export of cotton?
No, vegetable seeds segment.
Vegetable seeds, if you see at the overall first half, there's a slight decline of 2.5-3 crores in percentage term. It comes to 12% odd. But the season just got delayed this year because of the rainfall and heavy rainfall in most of the parts. We don't see any threat in vegetable seed. We are pretty confident that we'll grow in vegetable as desired. That will be contributed in the second half of the season.
Got it, sir. And any export potential going forward?
Last year, if you see the overall exports of around 65 odd crores, we had done close to 25 odd crores in Bangladesh itself. And other sale in Tanzania of 27-28 crores, as if you recollect, in the last year concall, we said that's one of the sale because we had done a government sale. But especially in terms of Bangladesh, out of this 24 crores, we might lose 10 to 12 crores in export because we already lost the season because of the unrest. But we are trying to get that sale in some other parts of the world because we are starting in other countries like Vietnam, Ivory Coast. We are getting orders from there. So we see that some of the revenue should be covered in those parts. But if you see the overall growth of exports, living 1 year like this, but overall, if you see good growth in export as well as we are entering into many other new countries, and we are getting very encouraging results from those countries as our hybrids are really doing well. We are pretty confident about export business as well.
Got it, sir. So you're planning to do exports across all products, right?
Yes. Especially all products in sense, not cotton, but basically maize, rice, and vegetables.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Sanjeev S. from Team Ladder. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Sanjeev, your audio is not very clear. Request to go on the handset mode.
Hello. Is it audible now?
Much
Yes.
better. Come closer to the microphone.
Yeah. I just wanted to get a sense of how the government business is panning out.
Government business for our company.
Yes.
So we don't participate much in the government subsidies. If you see the revenue of the company for this year is hardly some few crores. Even I doubt that it's in a single digit, not more than that.
Okay. And hello.
Yeah.
And any new products that have been launched, or how is the pipeline going forward?
That's a continuous activity what we do. We have launched, we always try new products in each and every crop segment. The launches are we have launched some hybrids in maize, in cotton, even in rice, and even in other crops as well, including bajra and wheat, mustard. So that's regular activity, and there are, apart from these hybrids which are launched, there are many other hybrids which are in the pipeline, which are also have a good potential in the future years.
So how much would be the share of new products launched in the overall revenue?
That depends on the crop to crop. Usually, the hybrid which is launched in the last 3 to 5 years, we call it a new product. The overall contribution will be in between 20 to 30% in every year, in the range of 20 to 35%.
Okay. And what would be the CapEx for the current fiscal?
Most of the CapEx is already done. We might invest other 25 to 30 crores for this year, and year on year 25 to what we always say like 35 to 40 crores, but 25 to 30 crores should be more than enough.
Okay. And we have substantial investments also, and since we have most of the CapEx we have already undertaken, is there any plan to distribute surplus cash to investors through maybe higher dividends or buyback?
So if you see in the last 7-8 years, we have done more than 6 buybacks, and every year we are a dividend-paying company, and we have just completed our buyback in the month of February, March. So always we try to distribute cash which is not required for the company. So as earlier I answered the question, like regarding the buyback tax has now changed. We need to take a decision on that. I think in the next coming quarters we will have a clear clarity on that.
And sir, these reservoir levels are like almost 87% full. And
sorry, which levels?
Reservoir levels.
Okay.
And they're expecting good demand as well as output in the Rabi season. So how should that kind of lead to
more or less Rabi for us is a very lean quarter. Second half is a very lean quarter when compared to first half. Most of the crops are like wheat and rice, which are all selection rice, and some sort of a maize. So maize, we think it will be in line with last year numbers. Vegetables is a very small segment for us, but we see a good growth in vegetables. But overall, if you see second half, we should be in line with last year numbers.
Okay, sir. That's it from my side.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We have the next question on the line of Anurag Jain, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My question is for the half-year balance sheet, the outstanding amount for biological assets is at 383 crores. This is the highest ever in last 4 or 5 years. So is this indicative of the anticipated growth for next year? Is the company undertaking higher production for the seeds for use in next 1 year?
Yes, well, that's one way to look at it. But as I just said, the production is pretty high this year, and I think we have one of the largest production what we have taken in the company's history. As we have most of the inventories are at almost zero levels, so we are trying to produce more. So that is one of the reason where we see higher production. And then the other thing is that we see a very good areas coming up. I mean, it's a very good volume. We are anticipating a good volume for the next coming years. In a combination of both, the production is more, and that same is reflecting the balance sheets.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and one on your touchtone telephone. We have the next question on the line of Dhruv Saraf from Bowhead India. Please go ahead.
Midun sir, we've had some challenges in cotton in terms of production over the last year. So fair to say that these challenges are now behind us, and the next cotton season should be good for us in terms of volume at least?
Yeah, the kind of production what we have taken up this year and the current crop yields, what we see usually now, unless and until something really bad happens with the climatic conditions. Otherwise, we'll get the anticipated production and with a good yield. So I don't see any challenge in the production for the next year, not only in cotton but most of the crops.
Right. And sir, I had a question on high density planting. There have been, recently there have been some actions and things led by the textile ministry as well regarding promoting the use of high density planting practices in cotton. So are you seeing any action happening on the ground, or is it just still more words than action?
Basically, most of the companies, including Kaveri, is working on high density planting, but we are yet to get a very suitable hybrid which gives better yields. But the research is on. Definitely, as the minister said, and the industry is trying for it, definitely down the line, the future of cotton seed will be high density plantation. The other reason, not only high density plantation, the other reason is that even the daily labor is getting to get daily labor is also getting difficult, farm labor especially, to pick the cotton seed. So it's a need for the cotton crop to be mechanized. The picking of cotton crop should be mechanized. So that is also one of the reasons why the industry will move to high density planting.
Right. Also, you have launched the product, I think it's 9292. Was it specifically for high density planting, or is it, agnostic of that?
It's not exactly for high density planting, but if you see as a crop, it's slightly high density, but it's not like what we were. High density plantation is nothing like that. It is more than double the seed rate what we sow now.
Mm-hmm.
At least double. It is more than that, but at least double.
All right. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have the next question on the line of Rohan Patel from Turtle Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
Mr. Patel, your audio is not very clear. If you should kindly go off speakerphone.
Sure. Hope so now I am audible.
Yes, you can.
Yes. Considering that this year our base for the cotton is the lowest, and we expect that next year the production, there are no more production challenges. So with this low sales base, how much can cotton grow from over here? Can we get back to our 350-400 crores base next year?
So once again. Just seeing the overall this year figures for what the exact number of cotton. This year we have done altogether, like if you see cotton as such, we have done close to 340 crores this year itself, 350 crores I think. We have done close to 50 crores this year.
Presentation, is it shown H1 that you did 258 crores?
258, 1 second. I just need to check. It should be Sorry. I'm taking last year. Sorry. Right. You are right. Cotton we have done like 93%. Yes, we have done around 250 odd crores.
Yeah.
Next year it should be like at least 20% more than what we have done now.
Okay, 20% more than what we. And considering that our non-cotton, the base is higher, we are growing in like 30-20, around like 25-30% in all of the hybridized selection measures. So will this trend continue?
What we see is that overall this year we had a very muted growth because there are a couple of reasons. One is the cotton, we are down by more than 30%, and the other thing where we are slightly down in terms of the exports. The exports were not as anticipated, for whatever reason it is. So going forward, what we see is that 10 to 12% growth and 15 to 18% of the bottom line should much reflect. But next year, as we see, as cotton is already low, we will at least grow by 20% in cotton next year. And other crops, we see a good potential in most of the crops. So next year, the growth rate should be in that 15 to 20%.
15 to 20% should be the growth rate for next year.
Yes.
And that would lead to like 20-25% growth in bottom line?
It should be more than 20%, upward of more 20% plus.
Okay. And we were going to bring some, we have lost our market share in cotton due to our hybrids being matured enough, and we were planning to, bring 2 to 3 new hybrids in cotton to get back our market share back. So how's the progress going over there? Have we started commercializing?
For the next year, what I'm saying of the 20% growth, basically it's only because of the new launch products. We are seeing good traction in those products, and we are given good production for those products as well. So those are the major contributors for the growth for the next year.
Okay. And after we reach back to our 350 crore, base in cotton next year, so how will cotton as a portfolio grow from over there? Like, can we come back to a 500 crore product? Can cotton be 500 crore again, like what we used to have in?
Sure. What we believe internally is that we have very good pipeline products, and which are recently launched are also giving very good results. We are pretty sure that we can go back to those previous levels what we had. It's a matter of 3 or 4 years from here.
Okay. And taking a medium to long term time horizon, and the non-cotton portfolio should be growing like at a rate of somewhere around 15%. Can we
already we are one of the biggest in the non-cotton segment, and as a crop it's growing, and as a company we are growing much better than the industry. So these two combinations should, as a mix of all products, not particular to cotton rice, but we have many other products like mustard, bajra, sorghum, wheat. There are many other products. So as a whole of cotton, if you divide both cotton and non-cotton segment, as cotton is with a low base, it should be in that 15 to 20% in the next 3 to 4 years, and we should be in between 12 to 15%. Overall, as a company, we see 12 to 15% growth, very conservatively.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for answering my questions, and best of luck for future. That was from my side.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We have the next question on the line of Mohammed Patel from Care Portfolio Managers. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So this is a follow-up to the previous participant. So the non-cotton has done really well in FY25, and the base is high. So should we expect non-cotton growth to slow down in FY26 to single digit?
We don't see any single-digit growth. It should be a double-digit growth. It may not be like that 25% or so, but it should be in the 12% to 15%.
Even on this higher base?
Yes.
Okay. My next question is, so exports was 6 crore in H1 FY25. What should be this number for H2, roughly?
Overall, we have done 66 crores last year in terms of the exports. As I said earlier, there was one-time sale of 28 crores in Tanzania, which we don't know whether we'll get it or not. That again depends on the government policy. Another thing, we have done like 24, 25 crores in Bangladesh. So 25 crores of Bangladesh sale will be like 12 to 13 crores this year. We have already lost some sale in the second quarter. Whereas the decline in Bangladesh sales, maybe like 6 or 7 or 8 crores might be covered in other parts of the world, like Vietnam, Ivory Coast, and other countries we are exporting, so that we have a chance to cover. But in terms of the Tanzania, we need to see whether we get those type of order or not. But going forward, if you see export as a segment, it will grow at more than 15% as a whole on year basis. We need to take the base of this year. This year, we can easily grow at 15% to 20% in vegetable in export market.
Can H2 be 20 crore excluding Tanzania?
It should be much better than that.
Should be better. Okay. And
if you see exact, like we have done only 6 crores from first half of export this year. Next half should be in between 30 to 40 crores.
and excluding Tanzania.
Overall, Tanzania we don't know, but it should be 1 plus or minus should be 30 and 40 crores.
And on that base, we can expect to grow at 15 to 20%.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. As there are no further questions, this will be the end of the conference. Thank you for joining the call. For any other information, please be in touch with Rama Naidu from Intellect PR on 9920209623. On behalf of Kaveri Seed Company Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.